Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm as always Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me breathing? I'm gonna angle
No,
this down a
no,
little bit.
you're okay.
My microphone. I realized I was typing something, and I realized that my mic was like right up to my nose. Yeah, we're here. It's no longer Pride Month. Sorry, Alex. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we're
got hit with
here,
that in
and
the group chats, not the
yeah.
one you're in. I told my friend he was asking for recommendations on which coat to wear. I said, go with the green and slay the day away, and he was like, "It's not Pride Month anymore. Stop."
I'm not gonna.
Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, you know what? That's fair, honestly.
Yeah, but shouts out real quick. Shouts out Atlantis Jr. for beating the White Devil. I mean Kyle Fletcher.
Oh yeah,
Um, that's my guy right there. I fucking love Atlantis Jr.
he does that
I
cool
love
tope,
that
doesn't he?
that the
Is
guy
that
that
him?
I picked. What do you say?
He does the cool tope where he like jumps
Yes,
sideways over the
yes.
ropes. Yeah, yeah, I
And
like him.
Kyle Fletcher cut him off from it, and I was like, oh fuck you.
Mhm.
But yeah, I fucking love Atlantis Jr. I think he's like, it's funny. I picked him. He was just like, I was like, yeah, that's my guy, and he wins the Ring of Honor TV title for no reason, and I think that's sick. I kind of wish I was watching that instead of the Stardom Korkauen main event. Even though the main event from Korkauen was
Oof,
better,
that's harsh.
um, I would have been I would have been jumping on my seat if I was watching Atlantis Jr. win that shit live. I just figured he was gonna lose, so I didn't watch it. You know, there was no question. But then I left the Stardom Korkauen upsetty spaghetti, and I checked Twitter, and Atlantis Jr. won with the fucking Canadian Destroyer low down frog splash. I was like, what the fuck? I could have been happy for once. It's a shame.
Okay, well, that's fun. Speaking of your unhappiness, this show is brought to you by the 5starnetwork.co. Head on over there for all of the great articles and podcasts from the wonderful world of wrestling. But also go to the 5 Star Network YouTube channel where there was a new episode of No Limit Wrestling. Dylan, what did you get up to
Yes.
on No Limit?
It's actually very funny. Pedro just texted our recording group chat that said, "Shout me out or I'll kill Velke." Um, so I'm going to not tell you who was in who was our special
Wow,
guest for that
crazy.
show. He will remain unnamed. But the selling point of the show, unfortunately, was because I lost the draft last time around because somebody accused me of cheating when I didn't cheat. Check the record books.
Can't believe Scott
Um,
would do that.
you whatever. Um, I got accused of cheating in the draft, which I didn't because Akira Hokuto never won the 3WA belt technically. Um, People, the disinformation spread as it does often in the wrestling community, and I lost, so I had to watch two Britt Baker matches from
Oof.
Stardom from 2018. And they were like 7 minutes long each of them. So I was like, this isn't much of a punishment. I can add in like her last match because she only had 3 matches in Stardom. I could add that in. Then I watched her versus Natsuko, and it was one of the worst things I have ever seen. Like
Yeah,
legitimately, it was fucking god awful. Xavi now keeps a picture of me after the match,
I've seen
of
that.
me
Yeah,
just like just legitimately like just not happy, not having a good time. And he just posts that anytime Britt Baker comes up, which obviously happened a lot last night. Um,
it's really funny
I'm
that
I'm fearful that
you.
I summoned her.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you unleashed her energies. Kind of like
Yeah, I think
how.
I said her name 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Like the Royal Rumble in February is going to unleash like dark spirits upon the world, but you watching Britt Baker and Stardom unleashed Britt Baker on the world. So,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
but yeah,
funny
it was really
because,
bad. I was in pain.
yeah, no, I can imagine. She came back obviously at Forbidden Door and she was slaying. I'm not a fan, but that outfit, like,
Did you
girl,
see
gender envy right there.
what I said in the Discord?
Yes. Yes, you did
Yeah.
accuse me of. I was getting accused of many things. I'm sorry that all my faves are problematic. The just a hint of like bad person tends to add some spice to these wrestlers. It's pretty
I will
incredible.
say very quickly, I think like a week ago you were talking about a wrestler or some like a wrestler got announced for a show and you were like, weren't wasn't she the one who was like spreading conspiracy theories about COVID? And then I just thought about her and was like, you like Nia Jax.
Yeah, no, but this one was interesting because it's Gabby Tuft, and she's trans and also like hardcore right wing. And I'm like, how does that work? How do you, at like 40
Oh,
years old,
that
realize that
sucks.
you're a woman and then also still
Hate
be
women.
fully fash? It's insane. So I remember just being confused. I was like, is this the same woman? And it turns out it was. But yeah, listen, maybe she's good now. Who knows? I don't
We'll
know.
see.
I don't think
Well,
she was a
actually,
good
I won't see.
wrestler
I don't
beforehand.
think I'm.
So
Well, pre-transition,
no,
I
of
liked her. I liked her dreads. Like I
yeah,
liked the
yeah.
hair.
There was a cool look
That was
there.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um,
we'll have to see.
but yeah, go check out the No Limit Wrestling show on the Five Star Network YouTube channel. Um, oh, and my mom called in. That was the other funny part.
Oh, I
I
was
never
meant
even
to watch
mentioned
the
it.
video of that.
Yeah,
What did you say?
I didn't even mention it. We talked about JWP 2015,
Mhm.
and Kyoko Haruyama's retirement show,
Right.
which we did not know that was what that show was. Pedro just was like, "Oh, there's a best friends versus Jumanji Sisters match,"
Oh, yeah.
and that's the only thing I know about the show. It turns out it was all about Haruyama instead, and we were like, "This is cool."
Nice.
But at the end of the
The
show, my
do-rag
mom
wrestler, or
did.
is that a different one?
What do you say?
Is she the do-rag wrestler, or is that another one? 'Cause there's somebody in JWP who always wore a
Oh
do-rag.
no, different.
Okay.
No,
I can't
Haruyama
remember her name.
was like JP Openweight champion for like 700 days or something. Like she was like she's probably the most unknown like quote unquote ace of a company ever. Even though I don't think she was the ace, but she held the belt and defended it for like most of the late 2000s. Like after Hyuga kind of died down, it was a lot of Haruyama. So I
Azumi
was like, it's kind
Hyuga.
of
You can't
crazy.
say forgotten ace and then be like Azumi Hyuga in the next next sentence.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so we talked about Haruyama, and my mom called in at the end, and we talked about uh, I said we talked about. She called me because she wanted me to take the dog out, but we talked about
Okay.
2000s Noah, uh, and how
Nice.
she thinks that Yoshiro Takayama looked weird.
You did, to be fair.
Correct. Love that guy though.
All right. Well, we have wrestling to discuss.
We do.
um, we're gonna start as we have started to do with Stardom wrestlers outside of Stardom, because that seems to be where most stuff is happening these days. Obviously, over the past week, specifically over the past 24 hours, AEW held Forbidden Door, which did feature three separate Stardom wrestlers, as well as a big announcement that I think will heavily feature in Stardom's future. So the first one was on the pre-show. As we predicted last week, Tam Nakano teamed with Willow Nightingale to take on Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe. Tam actually pinned Momo in this one, so they didn't even do much AEW wise, but I'm sure they can come back to it. Maybe Tam
No,
will challenge
Willow
somebody.
beat the fuck out of Momo. Even Momo said she's like, Tam wouldn't have beat me if it wasn't for Willow beating the fuck out of me.
Fair, that's fair. Willow's a
um,
beast.
yeah, but Momo's a geek, unfortunately. So yeah,
Tragic. On the
it was
main
good though.
show,
It was
then,
solid.
Tony Storm beat Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's Championship, which is, I mean, that was obvious.
It was fine.
Afterwards, Tony, Mina, and Mariah did all make up, so they are all on a level playing
They
field.
all made up and made out.
Yes. Interesting tactic.
Thruple, yeah.
Yes, they're a polycule. It's very modern. I'll give them that. Um, and yeah, that was so. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna turn Mariah within the space of 6 weeks because everything's fine and dandy now, and
You
Mina's
know what the
probably
problem
not gonna
might be?
be. But
They might just do MJF Adam Cole again, where they
no,
just
I don't
don't.
think so. I don't think so.
Well, they
I
don't
think I think they're
until
pl-
like
I think they've
after.
planned to get behind Mariah a little bit too much to not do a split. So I think it's gonna
I don't
happen.
know if you know this, but Adam Cole is best friends with literally every executive in in the company.
What does that have
They
to do
were
with
getting
Adam
behind
Cole?
him too.
Oh yeah, but I mean he's a bit of a dork. So I mean, have you
Yeah.
seen an Adam Cole storyline? Like, come on, this guy is
Okay.
jacket it all the time. Like,
You know what's
not
you know
literally,
what's
figuratively.
you know what's really funny? Well, I would hope so. You know what's really funny? Uh, Britt Baker was doing bad Adam Cole like bad Adam Cole spots, fucking like almost a decade ago, and I was like, how did you survive? How did nobody
She
tell you
barely
to
did.
stop?
It's really like she got plucked out of nowhere for AEW. It was like, her? Really? And then she ended up getting pushed because nobody else.
I remember watching her on Wrestle Circus, and she was bad. And you know how bad you have to be for me to note that you're bad in Wrestle Circus?
Oh yeah, what a weird promotion. Yeah, we suffer
Sorry,
these
sorry.
days.
Yeah, it's still on my mind.
I don't think this is kind of related to Stardom, but Mercedes Moné did win the Strong Women's Championship. She beat Stephanie Vacker for it. So,
Well, it's her
um,
ticket to wrestle in Stardom again.
yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
that's what
thinking.
that kind of.
She's very much Mercedes is very much on the I want to wrestle everywhere kind of train, similar to Moxley.
Mm,
So I'd imagine she will feature on a Stardom show eventually. And if not, we have the even bigger deal, which was Wrestle Dynasty is happening on January 5th at the
Dynasty.
Tokyo Dome. Yes, Dynasty. Is that not it?
Wait, you're serious?
Wrestle
It's
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Oh, it's the same thing. Jesus.
Dynasty? No,
Kidding.
okay. This is ridiculous. There's no way you just said dynasty and just kept going. That's not,
Yeah, that's you
man.
could say it like that, surely. Anyway,
Maybe
never mind.
maybe
The important thing
maybe
about
the
Wrestle
Irish are just
Dynasty,
weird.
the important thing about Wrestle Dynasty is that it is CMLL, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Stardom on the marquee. So technically, this is the first time a women's company is helping to co-run the Tokyo Dome in a long time, and
Yeah.
I think that's going to have some pretty big matches. I would imagine they do a Monet, a big Mercedes Monet versus Stardom match on there, and you maybe get like Athena defending against somebody because Ring of Honor is on the marquee. You possibly get
Do you think
like
Athena holds
Rose
it that
Gold.
long?
Yes, they're doing an injury plot line where she's not wrestling for months, so
Yeah.
she's like all she has to do is defend it once. And I think she's fine. You might get a Rose Gold
Ridiculous company.
reunion on that show as well, so I think that'll be a big one. I actually suspect currently they might do Monet and Miyu there, and like triple crown Mercedes Monet, and have her hold all three of the belts.
That I could
So
see.
I could definitely see that happening.
Especially
Um,
because we kind of think, I don't know about you, I might be putting words in your mouth. Kind of think that Mayu probably still is dipping next year at some point.
Considering she was just pictured with Rossi Ogawa, yes, yes.
And not to assume things, but uh she was talking about how she got to meet like this like idol, this singer that she absolutely adores tonight. And Rossi was like, "Oh yeah, I was also there." And I was like, "That's uh, I know." Like, and I texted you this. I was like, "I am not contract tempering. This is my daughter." But
Mhm.
like, putting two and two together, it would be really funny if Rossi was like, "Hey, you want to meet your favorite singer?"
That's crazy.
Not related to any contract thing, just for funsies.
That's similar
Um,
to in the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces.
hmm,
The city of Las Vegas gave all of the players on that roster like 100 grand just out of the blue,
yeah,
and they're like, we didn't do it. We're not going over the salary cap. The city just decided to do it. We know
the city
nothing.
just loves us, man.
And they do, in fairness, Las Vegas does get behind the team, but I thought it was really funny how they're just like, well, I don't know, man, I just got here. So
Yeah.
it's Rossi's doing that play. It's very fun. Um, yeah, it is nice to see Stardom involved in a lot of these ideas. I think for all the criticism Tony Khan got, I do think he's more interested in his women's division than ever. I mean, he put 3 women's matches on Collision. It was
Yeah.
4 on Forbidden Door. This is a guy who now has a very talented roster of women who I think he genuinely is interested in putting on his shows. And so Stardom getting to work with that is fun. Again, if we get Monet and Mayu, that's great. If we don't, and there's another Mercedes Monet match, I will never say no. If we get Athena versus somebody, that's pretty cool too. So, it is nice to see Stardom in these conversations and featured properly, in entertaining matches at least.
Yeah, and I wonder how that does because, like, I don't know, it could be a disaster, but also like
Wrestle
when you're
Dynasty,
yeah,
I suspect
Dynasty.
it does really well because they'll have like the big return, I'd imagine, of Kenny Omega or Okada to Japan, and that'll probably
See,
sell.
that's the thing, is that it's like how, like, are they doing a Forbidden Door there, or are they doing a Tokyo Dome show there? You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm like looking at. Because if they
I think
ran a
it's
if it's just a Forbidden Door with a couple more like interesting matches in Japan, it's gonna crash and burn. But if it's a Tokyo Dome show, like if it's a real, like, hard hitter, then yeah, I think they probably do pretty well.
yeah. I think Okada alone and Omega could probably do really well,
Well,
and
Okada was on
Osprey,
the
of course,
last
as
Tokyo
well.
Dome show, to be fair, but yeah,
He was, but he's gone for a year, so that changes things. But I don't
true.
know. Honestly, I don't know the Japanese audience, especially not for men's wrestling.
Put Shibata on the show.
That's true. That's right. I think is that everything? Was that all? And I know Mina was on a Dynamite, but we kind of knew what was going to happen there anyway, so we discussed it.
I think that is all.
Okay, so looking ahead then, this weekend, Stardom is taking part in Cross. This is the retirement show for now Kakta of TJPW. In the main event, it's an actress girls offer match when now Kakta teams with Tei Hanma to take on Saori Anou and Natsupoi. So
Oh,
yeah, I
Momo
think
Kogo
it's.
wrestled in Lucha Fiesta,
Oh, she did.
but I
Yes,
don't
that
know what happened
barely
there.
exists. I think
Yeah,
she lost to Amapola,
that's rough.
probably. But yeah, that's a fun match. It's nice to see them all get together for to celebrate now. It
Yes,
should be a decent match. I like now Kakta. I never loved Tehanma, I will admit, but Suriano and Natsupoi are great, so I'd imagine they'll do well enough.
you never had taste. Yeah, no, I think it's. Oh wow, actually, I wonder what they're doing. No, I forgot that there are two Korkins here. Um,
Yes.
because I was like, oh, the next day they're gonna wrestle Manami and Mika, but then I was like, no, that's 2 days earlier. That's great
Mm-hmm.
for them. But yeah, that'll be fun, and Himeka's gonna be refereeing one of the matches, I think, was the thing. So that'll be
Yes,
nice to see
Haneka will be
her.
there.
And yeah, it's
All right.
always not spoil getting opportunities to do shit is always cool.
Yes, I agree. The last thing, kind of to round up before we get into the actual Joshi stuff, New Japan and Stardom will be announcing their future big match plans in a press conference on Wednesday. So I'd imagine that's Forbidden or not Forbidden Door, historic crossover. We probably get a date for that, and maybe some mentions of like future potential crossovers. Maybe they confirm that there's going to be a Stardom offer match on the Dome again.
Did
Not
they
sure,
say
but
what month crossover is gonna be?
no.
Oh, I thought they said October or November.
Um, maybe, but I don't know.
Oh wait, no, they did. I know for a
Did they?
fact they did because it's on Cage Match, so they must have.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the 17th of November.
Oh,
Um,
so what would they be announcing then at this press conference thing?
Probably Stardom on a New Japan show before then.
Hmm, maybe. Or maybe it's the
Probably Mayu,
schedule as well. Maybe they. Oh no, they announced already where they're running in December, didn't they?
kind of. Oh, like
Okay, I don't know.
Rigoku, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
or
we'll
wherever
see.
the fuck they're running.
If
It's
they're
not
confirming a
Rigoku.
dome thing or more Stardom matches. I'm not sure. They did seem very. Always, we should go into that actually. They did officially. Stardom did officially become a subsidiary of New Japan over the past week, so they are firmly one thing now, so maybe they are going all in on cross promoting. But I don't know how much that's gonna
I don't
work
know.
or
Gato
what
hates
it's
women
gonna do.
and good booking,
That's true. Then
so
again, I don't know how much he can say no to Tanahashi. It's like whatever Tanahashi says goes, maybe.
good point.
'Cause this guy
As it
saves the
should be.
company. I don't think you can say no.
Jesus Christ.
Um,
Yeah.
you
Um.
are right there.
Oh no, it's a New Japan thing. I was just reading. I
Oh,
was like,
that's fair. That's how I respond to New Japan all the time. Um, that's everything though. I think of the news. Obviously Marigold stuff, but we'll get to that when we do Marigold. We're doing Marigold second because it didn't air, whereas Stardom did. Is an interesting new world to live in. So unless I've forgotten anything, no more news. We're all good.
I don't think you've forgotten anything.
Okay. So first show to review was on who the fuck is that? We have another episode of Who's at the Door. I have returned. I was not slain at the door.
That's good.
um,
Though
so
it would
the
have been funny if you were quote unquote slain at the door. I'm not gonna lie.
ha 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 ha. Anyway, we have
Go on.
2 shows to review. The first is on June 29th. Stardom in Korkauen. Did 946 fans here, which when I posted it on the Twitter, people were like, "That's a bad number," and I was like, "Maybe," but they are running there twice in the next 7 days as well, and they also just did a pay-per-view.
It
So
wasn't a bad number, but it was a bad vibe. This was one of the worst
it was.
vibes on a Korkan I've gotten
I think
in
the
a
show the
long
next
time.
day like outdid it in every department,
Yeah,
which was weird.
which was both upsetting and concerning because like the matches on the next show, like there was not. I mean, there wasn't much on this show either, but uh, I don't know. Yeah, the vibes were off on this Korkan, crowd
That's
wise.
fair.
I would say especially.
Um, in even before the match, Hiroshi Tanahashi showed up and he and Karo got in the ring and were like, "Hey, we're gonna make Stardom better. New Japan owns you now. Cool." Um, I don't know. Do you
Imagine
think
being owned
people?
by New Japan Pro Wrestling. Couldn't be me.
Do you think there are people who didn't realize the business relationship that they had and how it's changed? Because most people didn't seem to ever understand.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
like most people were just like, "Oh, New Japan owns Star," like that. That's
Yeah.
all. Like they've thought that for years.
They probably still
Um,
think that, even though it's still like, further up the chain, the ownership.
well, now technically it's a bit more accurate in that
Yeah.
New Japan owns Stardom,
Yeah.
but New Japan is owned by something that is bigger than New Japan. It's similar like I think what's funnier is Cyber Fight, uh,
Oh, dude.
and just
I
Cyber
don't
Agent,
understand that at all.
where it's like Abima is like a very small subsidiary of Cyber Agent. It's basically on the scale, like in terms of like uh importance and just like like weight within Cyberfight. I guess maybe weight is a bad word or importance, but it's on the same size as like wrestle like wrestle Cyberfight. But Abima is like one of the biggest like media providers in Japan. So it's like Cyberfight and Cyber Agent is just like this the biggest conglomerate you can possibly imagine, which I think is kind of funny because
Yeah.
people just kind of see it as the wrestling thing. It's like no, they actually own like a lot of the media in Japan.
Yeah, they air WWE, don't they? And they aired the World Cup. I remember there's a big furor about them getting the
Yeah,
World Cup.
they're and again,
Um,
Abima is not like their big thing.
no,
It's one of their
very weird.
bigger things, but it's not like like
Business
Cyber
world is
Agent
strange,
is huge.
especially as it involves pro wrestling now. Like pro wrestling is part of the business world, and people just don't get it. And I'm like, yeah, it's a strange place.
True.
TKO Endeavor is like a whole thing, and people are realizing how businesses operate
The
now, and
business of
people
wrestling
lost their
is
minds.
both like overestimated and underestimated
Yes,
in that like people were like, I can't believe Tony Khan's spending $100 million a year on his roster. I was like, he has like 800 people on that roster. Uh,
yeah,
have you heard of any other sports athlete ever? Like, do you know how much
yeah,
Otani's getting paid? That one dude. I mean, he's the best, but like, really, think about it for a second.
yeah. And doesn't the average NBA team pay 140 to their team? Like,
I believe so,
yeah. So strange times. Anyway,
around that number at least.
in the opener at Corkin, Sayaka Mitani beat uh, Fukigen Death. Her name didn't translate properly, so it just says, "I'm so disappointed." I was like, okay, sure.
Damn,
Okay.
the person
Um,
who was writing the website really
yeah,
had some harsh words about this match specifically.
that's crazy. So Saya beat Fukigen to retain the high speed belt in just under 5 minutes with a spinning leg lock. That was a decent enough high speed match. You can't really
That
go
wasn't
wrong with
spin leg like
Saya or Fukigen.
it was a O'Connor roll through. Remember she countered
Okay.
the O'Connor roll. Uh
They said a spinning leg lock. I was running with it.
yeah, I I wish somebody else was high speed champion. All love to Sai Kamatani. She got shit on um at the meet and greet, which was fucking
Crazy.
terrible.
Kendrick Lamar has
Uh
really like opened up a new level of people
don't
just
blame
being
this on Kendrick.
like full haters. Like people are just
Yeah,
going,
no.
"I'm gonna
I mean, to
hate
be
you
fair,
with my entire
Kana
being."
Kana said that there have been people who have like paid her hundreds of dollars to like get to shit on her
Mm.
at meet and greets and shit. So it's like this is like a thing.
Yeah,
But no, I switch somebody else besides be champion right now. Pretty much anybody else. I'm gonna be real.
I don't
Um,
mind it if she's gonna defend it, but depends.
yeah, but it was this was
I
fine. Like
also
this
feel
was a
like you
good
just want
match.
May Sarah to get it again, and then we just be doing the same loop of what is
I
May
just
Sarah gonna
want
do after V3?
I want man I actually I'm not gonna say that because I don't want that to happen. But no, I just want somebody who like I don't know could use it. I feel like Sai Kamatani is being weighed down by the high speed championship and is not bringing it up. Like it
Mm,
doesn't feel like it's like gained notoriety with her. It feels like she's just dragging this thing behind her. Uh,
I guess.
which like I you can compare it to like Hazuki, who was uh, well, 2019. It's kind of debatable. You could consider her above the high speed championship, but it felt like she brought it up to be like of note. Um, Whereas I feel like Sai Kamatani, it's kind of like a fucking uh, you know it's on her ankle. It's like a wrecking ball on her ankle. I forget, but it's a ball and chain. That's how it feels for Psycom time right
I
now.
guess. I mean, she did have it disappear for almost her entire big
Like
feud, and now it's back, and it's like, okay, cool.
as much as I don't like her, I think Tekla
Who?
could use it.
What? Oh, I don't know if she's high speed anymore, so I'm
Sai
not
isn't
sure.
either, so it doesn't matter.
Can work fast. I think Tekla's changed and is more like heat. I'm gonna kick you in the face kind of wrestler now.
Hey, I
Although
don't
I'm
want
sure
her to
she
win a singles
could.
title.
I'm
Don't get
sure
me
she
wrong.
could roll it back, but I don't know if she's a high speed wrestler anymore. But I feel like this belt is just one that can kind of come and go as it needs. And if you just start defending it more, it should be okay. Um, yeah, who knows? Our
That's
next
got a
match.
cool near fall. That was the one thing
Yes,
I
she does.
noted from this
That
match was
always
that she,
there's always one
yeah,
in
every
death
time it's like,
matches.
what?
But our next match was Aya Sakura beating Rian in 6.5 minutes. I like both of these wrestlers. I think I've decided that Rian is good. Um,
Mm,
and I thought this was a solid match. I think Aya over these 2 days had two singles matches, and you could see that she still needs to get used to those because she's in a lot of tags. But I think she's good at what she does. I felt bad because she fluffed the finisher.
she whiffed
It
it
was her
so bad.
this was her first win and her first time showing off her finisher, and she missed. She missed Rian
What was that
entirely.
supposed to be?
It's
Oh, it
meant
was
to
a
be a jumping knee,
knee drop. Yeah.
yeah, and but she made no contact with Rian, so it just looked awkward. But you know what? You can try again. It's okay.
She should probably not do a knee attack. She should probably do like a
A
knee
kick.
drop or
Just
that.
kick him.
Like
Soccer kick.
she should either do the Destiny's Hammer, which was not what she was doing.
No.
But I think that would be a good one if she's gonna do a knee from the top. She should do the I just saw someone do it this actually. The 13.99 was it Konami? I think Konami did
Mina
it.
does.
Um
And Mina and yeah, Konami did it as well. The tag.
yeah, where like just like a sidekick from the top. She could do
A beast
that.
move.
She could just kick him in the back of the head.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like that'd be
This
cool.
feels like finisher number one from a wrestler who ends up with like a way cooler finisher down the line, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
But
Um,
if she's gonna do this, I think she should do it and I people are gonna get mad at me for doing this and not the more accurate example, the Ren Narita style, where he just like
right.
gets like he like connects with the knee and then grabs their head and drives them down. Um, I think that's probably because like you can't be whiffing this, and I know you're gonna whiff this a lot if you just try to do like a if you keep trying to do it like this. So
Yeah, because she's trying to take a back bump, and so is her opponent, and it just looks like she's
yeah,
floating.
I feel
It's
like
a weird one.
she should probably go down with it.
Yeah, go
Do a
down with
knee
the
drop
ship.
instead.
You know.
Exactly.
Well, that's
That
all
was
right.
fine.
We'll give her. Yeah, we'll give her room to get it right. Our next match was the Work Rate Angels beating. No, they
No,
lost to the new grouping of Amisore, Saki Kashima, Rani Agami, Hina, and Lady C. So in an upset, Amisore pinned
definitely.
Saori Anou in 9 minutes with like a thunderbolt, just to really set in how Ano is struggling right now. Amisori kind of keeps getting her push slightly up the card. And yeah, I thought this was a solid enough tag. You could see where like Hina and Lady C would do their thing, and then the three God's Eye members would do their thing. But the Work Rate Angels are, of course, really, really good. So, this is a good time.
I also think Lady C and Hina are gonna like work well with a new coat of paint, sort of. Like just like being placed in a different place than they've been in for so long. Um, because I think that they, even though Hina is like the second most tenured person in the group, well, was in Queen's Quest, um, I feel like they both were a bit miscast and they could definitely like grow into something else. I think Hina was finally growing into Queen's Quest and then she got kicked out, but uh, I can see some interest there. Um, this is like a strange reference, and it kind of ties into what I think might be the story with the tag titles, unfortunately. Um, I have a feeling that God's Eye is Shuri's Jungle Assault Nation.
Um, Maybe.
Because Ami's her Natsuko.
Hmm.
I think Konami's leaving.
Okay, I would disagree with that. And I know what you're thinking, but I will get to it later. I was looking at stuff, and
but
I don't think it's as
but
much as they're trying to
point
make it
being,
out.
Ami would be her Natsuko, Saki would be your Kaori, and then the rookies are the rookies.
Hmm,
You
maybe.
know,
I don't know.
I like because it feels very much like Shuri and the ones that she's trying to protect, and Ami sometimes is also competent, which was the story of Jungle Assault Nation, of Jungle and the one she's trying to protect, and Natsuko is also sometimes competent. Um, as for the match itself, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Mhm.
We probably should have seen Ano losing coming, but the thing is that like we forget that they love Ami so much. Because like if Shuri
The
was in
Ami
this
thing is very
match,
new. Yes, I'm still
or
kind of getting around it.
if Hazuki was in this match, if like any contender, like theoretical contender for a top title in our brains, was in this match, I feel like we would have been like, oh yeah, they like Ano probably like Dark Ages this shit. Um, but Ami always sneaks up on us, so that's fun. Um, I thought she did well here though. Like I thought Ami did fine.
Hmm.
I thought her and Ano had a cool exchange later on. And Ano's tag was hype. That was one of the most hype moments of the show. Was Ano getting into the ring and everybody being like, "Yeah, let's go." She
Yeah,
isn't she isn't moping anymore, and then she lost and started moping again.
it's genuinely really interesting. Because even in the backstage promo, she just kept apologizing, and the group is really trying to like bump her back up. But she just keeps going like, "I can't. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just letting you all down." It's really weird to see Saori Anou in that spot because I like in every company she's been in, it's she's the ice queen. She is
Mhm.
colder than ice. She's gonna beat bitches and doesn't give a damn. So to see her be really human is a very interesting tact that nobody else has really approached. Um,
True.
it's maybe this is Okataro's style of storytelling. He's gonna do a lot more of these personal journey type things because he's already kicked off like two at the very minimum. Because yeah, currently she's one of the more interesting things going on, and
Yeah.
something that they keep going back to, and she's actually, I think her actually losing is really good because I don't think Rossi would have done that. Whereas Okataro was like, look, you're gonna lose, you're gonna further your story. So I'm into it.
Well, no, I mean last year Utami lost a bunch.
Hmm. Well, she was on the downswing though. I don't think Anna's on the downswing.
You think it's just well, it
Part of
depends
the
on the
narrative.
comeback then. Like, cause I get what you
Well, her
mean.
and Poi is like the big year-end white belt match, surely.
Yeah, but it depends on how quickly the turnaround is for
Um,
her
they have
personally.
5 months. 5 months is a long time in wrestling.
That's what I mean. That's like a downturn. 5 months is a downturn,
I don't
and
know
then
if
she
she's
comes
gonna
back
still be
up.
presented pretty strong. I don't think so. I imagine she
She
will be
lost to
strong.
Ami Sourei.
I really like Amisori. She beat Natsupoi.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I
I
don't
need
know.
to beat Natsupoi.
I'm kind of interested. I don't think Rossi, when he's pushing somebody, wouldn't have had them lose like that. Because he kind of stopped doing it as much. So I don't know. Maybe it's just recency bias, but I think Taro Okada did something that I wouldn't have seen Rossi do.
Potentially.
That's
They
not
also
important.
do
It
love
doesn't matter.
Ami though.
Storylines
I
are
think
good. We
that's.
like them.
But
Um,
yeah, I thought the match was solid. Oh, and after that
uh,
match, they announced the Sendai.
yes. So we'll get onto that in the preview anyway.
Okay,
Our next match was our first look at the new group that I am currently dubbing O2 Crazy Kids because I have no other ideas. It is
I had
Starlight
Crazy
Kid.
Generation.
That's much better. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Meisera, and Miyu Amasaki beating Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Tekla, and Rocca of Oedo Tai. Starlight Kid pinned Rocca in 13 minutes with a Momo latch. As I had predicted, the new group, kind of in air quotes, would help Azumi and Miyu get one over on Oedo Tai. It just kind of made sense to give Kid's proposal a bit of weight. I thought they very clearly weren't on the same page though. The new group was very singular still. They all kind of went out to the
Hmm.
ring on their own. They kind of came together at the end a little bit, but it was still very individual. So I kind of
Yeah, I'm worried we're
they
gonna have
still
to
don't
fucking
feel like a
wait a
group yet.
month.
But they did on the next show. I think the Sunday
But
show they looked a lot more like a
even
unit.
still, it like in the match they felt more like a unit, but like in
Mm.
the entrance it felt like they had no
It
vibe,
does it does still feel
which is
different.
strange because they are all very clearly like friends. Like they all like pretty clearly are like cool with each other and
Yeah.
have been. They're all high speed wrestlers and whatever. Like it feels like they should have more of an aura to them as a unit, but they don't
I
yet.
think that would
Um,
come if they kind of get a unified look. I think that's always
yes,
one of the more important
a,
things about
a more
factions.
unified look, a name, just like a
Mhm.
vibe that they can, outside of we are
That'll
the same
definitely come
age.
in time.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't
I
like this
don't.
match that much.
No, no, it was one of the lazy away to time matches where they just crowd brawled, heat, 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 and
The
then a
crowd did
little bit
not
of
care.
babyface comeback. And it's, I mean, away to tie can kind of skirt the line. One week they're really good, one week they're not very good, and it's kind of performances like this where they just kind of felt very lazy. Um, and so yeah, I thought for the new group it was a very bad first impression. Um, but obviously they're going to grow into that group. I think that's the angle they're going at there. They're not together just yet, but they're as individuals really talented, which is why they got the win.
Hmm.
And yeah, Oedo Tai, I don't know, they'll have to pick it up.
Oh, Ruaka has a new nickname. Um,
Oh,
she is the Violent Freezer. Uh,
that's brilliant. I love that.
yeah. Um, just cause yeah, Natsuko is the intelligent monster, so Ruaka's the Violent Freezer, which I think are great names there. Um, yeah, this match kind of just more pissed me off than anything. Like it was fine. Like I said, it wasn't like a bad match. It was just like, man, like the crowd does not care until Momo does a cool move, and then they're like, "Yes, Momo, do more cool moves," and then she doesn't,
Yeah.
and they just sit on their hands
Her and
and
Tekla
then
are the
wait.
main ones that get focused, but then Tekla's always shoved into the background, so her idol killer thing hasn't had a chance to get over yet.
She
So
said, "What's next for the idol killer?" and then got beat by Syuri.
yeah, yeah.
That's what's next for the idol killer
I
homegirl.
understand what they're doing there. She's doing good work to get this thing some legs, and
Uh,
then they just go, "You're in a multi-tag. Suffer."
you could strike the good, and you could just say she's doing work here, because I think she is doing work. She's putting in the hours, but you know, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I want to like this obviously because I like most of the Uedo Tai team. I
Mhm.
do individually like most of Uedo Tai. Um, but yeah, I just didn't fuck with this at all.
It's all right.
I just don't want to
Um,
watch Uedo Tai anymore. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how this Tora title match is gonna go with the recent run of form. I
Mm.
don't know what she's up
It
to,
is
but
very funny that 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 she had the Julia match and it was very good. And I was like, man, they really should have just put the belt on her and like done a transitional reign there. And then after that, I was like, but I guess she'll never get a singles title. Then she got like actively pretty bad, and now they're like, maybe we'll see.
it's very fun.
I was like, what the fuck do you mean we'll see?
Let's see. Who's to say? Um, our next match then was the EXV team of Micah, Xena, Akasuyama, and Hanako taking on and losing to Maya Utani, Hanan, Saida, and Momo Kogo. Hanan got the win for her team with a backdrop driver on the one in blue,
Hanako.
Hanako.
The one in blue, that's crazy.
I saw the blue legs on the pin, and I was like, oh yeah, the one in blue. Um, I I don't have very vivid memories of this, which means it must not have been that good. I
No, it was
thought
good. I mean, it
Xena
wasn't
and
great, but it was good.
Ida chopped each other, and that was cool.
Correct.
Which is
Ida
Xena
Ida
is always
got
good, and
Ida
I mean
got
Ida is
Waka
always
in
good.
a like modified Armageddon, which was
Oh yeah.
really cool. Where she like it was, but she like it was like a choke too. Like she grabbed the opposite. So in a cross arm breaker, an arm bar, you grab the arm closer to you. She grabbed the arm further away from her, so she kind of was like choking her, and she got
Mhm.
the leg in. So it was just crazy. I really like that move. She should like use that in late stage of matches, and like she should beat uh Saka Kurara with it. I think or somebody.
Okay.
You know,
This is
to
like
make no
wanting
to
to.
make it legit because I think it's a really cool submission.
That's fair.
Hanako got to wrestle against four really good sellers that are small, so that was good. She only had to be in there for
Yeah.
like 2 minutes. Uh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, after the
Um.
match, Xena had Mayu dangling like on the apron, like she was gonna kill her because Mayu was like stopping her from interrupting the pin. But then once like the match ended, Xena just like had her held and like upside down above the floor, like on the apron, and Mayu's like, "Please let me down." It was quite funny. It was quite funny.
Please don't kill our icon. So you can't do that.
Yeah, we
Um.
need her.
The next match then was for the Future of Stardom Championship. Rina and Nanami wrestled to a 15-minute time limit draw, so the belt stays on Rina. Why are rookies going to draws? Why
This has
like
always been what
first
we've done.
Hanako and Saran
Well,
did
this
it,
makes way
and
more
now
sense than putting
Rina
Hanako
and
and
Nanami.
Saran in a 15-minute. They ran.
None
This
of
is
them
just
make
the Azusa
sense. I don't
match,
know.
or not the Azusa match. This is just the Tomoka match against Hanan back in the day.
Yeah, but
Um,
they were both
and
much higher
Gorkin.
up than these two. Like Nanami,
I don't think
does she
so.
even get wins in
She's the
Indiana?
Crystal Champion.
The fuck is a crystal? No, I actually I know what
It's the
that is.
crown.
It's their future belt, isn't it? So
I
I
believe
guess
so.
I should have seen that coming, but I don't know. I feel like
But
you should just have her lose. I don't know.
no, well, they're setting up a 3WD Crystal Championship match
Of
after this
course.
match.
Yes, of course. That yeah. Okay. Um
Um,
anyway, it
this
was a decent
was
match. I like
this is the
Nanami.
arena special where like the first like 5 minutes you're like, oh, this is gonna be a rough one, and then the last 10 were really 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 good.
Have no grasp on Rena as a wrestler, and it is really strange because I watch her so much, but I still couldn't
Mhm.
tell you much about what she's about. But then she always has like
No,
solid to good matches, so she's clearly doing something right. But I just can't get a
I feel
grasp
like I
on what
forget
she is.
everything about Rena every time I watch a Rena match. And then I
Yes.
like relearn it when I watch it.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, like I said, I was watching this. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a fucking rough one. Maybe they just don't have chemistry together. And then again, the last 10 minutes was really good, but the first five, I was just like, eesh, this is, eesh. Um,
Yeah. I like Nanami
but
though.
yeah,
I think she's
I
good
really
too.
like Nanami. I think she's
Very
really really good.
fundamentally solid wrestler too. Just like well trained, clearly.
That's the Diana special, baby.
That's
Um,
true. That's true.
but yeah, I liked how they got close to the finish. I thought Rena hitting the Pink Devil as the time limit expired was really cool. It kind of gave her that little visual dub, and then Nanami offered a Crystal Championship shot at some point. So I'm happy it's continuing. I think that'll be
Yeah.
cool. I think they're cool together. But yeah, I thought this was I thought it was probably the second best match of the night because it was good on a fundamental
Hmm.
level. Um,
That's fair.
yeah,
Can't argue. Rani Yagami also appeared and wanted a shot at the championship. Rina said, "You haven't really won much, so you're gonna have to come back to me. Maybe if you do well and catch the wave, I'll let you challenge." So
which isn't it over? Like, doesn't it end tomorrow?
Rana is in a first round playoff, I think, so she could go to the next round, but probably won't. Um, so I
It's
don't know
her
how they
versus
do
Chi
that.
Chi.
Yeah, Chi
Yeah,
Chi's definitely more likely to go advance. Chi Chi's a bit further along,
yeah.
so who knows? But yeah, it's nice to see Rena being like, "Nah, you can't just challenge for my belt. Like you gotta get them wins up, son."
Get your money up, not your funny up.
Damn right.
Perk
Um,
Edwards Jr. taught me that one.
our next match then was the main event. It was a Goddess of Stardom Championship match. We have new champions as Syuri and Konami beat Hazuki and Koguma. Konami basically choked out Hazuki for the finish in 16 minutes after hitting
After
her with a
hitting her,
chair on
yeah,
the outside.
with an
Now,
Oedo tie chair.
thing is, in the match report, they don't actually specify that it's a Uedo tie chair. So I think she just wanted to use a chair, and the Uedo tie one is the only one gimmicked to like break easily. So that's why she used it. I don't. I feel like they would have made a big point of it in the report if they wanted it to be. So I think that was just the only chair she had access to and used it.
I don't know. I feel like they might have just missed it.
Well, I don't
They've
think the
been missing
Stardom
stuff.
website would miss it. I don't
No,
think
they've
their
been
own.
missing stuff, man.
I don't think they would miss it if they wanted to make it a storyline, but we can discuss that. Konami and Syuri debuted Team Gear. They looked kind of cool. It was very like laid back, street. It's kind of street fight gear, really. You see it kind of
Yeah,
AEW wrestlers whenever they do a street fight. They have the shirts and the cool
the
trousers.
jeans.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it under-delivered. This is probably the weakest FWC match I can remember. Just never really picked up the pace. Never really gave us that intensity that I would have expected with Hazuki in there with Syuri and Konami. I do remember Syuri throwing Koguma on her head, and I was like, why didn't we do that for all of the match? Yeah, I mean, it was still good. They're all good wrestlers, but I feel like FWC have been on such a good run that just good feels bad by their standards.
Yeah,
But it was
I
alright,
thought it was quite good, but it was nowhere near the previous title matches they've had. Um, in fact, I'm kind of like going through to see these matches that they've been having, because yeah, they've had bangers basically pretty
Mhm.
much constantly. Um, dating back to the what was it, the Fatal Four Way Tag match
Oh, yeah.
from Queendom, like that, like since then they just haven't really missed, and I don't think this was a miss, but it was a step down, definitely. Um, yeah, I don't know, it just something fell off, and then after the match something fell off, and and the Konami spot fell off. Even Sprite was mentioning it, and Sprite, Konami can do no wrong, but even he was like, why'd you use a chair? That was kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't make much sense. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was a good match, and I thought that they did a good job with what they were doing. But it also just felt like it never, you know, built into what you wanted to build into. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
It was still the best match on the show, probably. Definitely, actually, because it wasn't a very good show. Um, not that it wasn't very good. It was a bunch of matches that were like, good, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, this was like notably good, but yeah, I don't know. It
Yeah,
was
I
weird.
mean, that'll happen sometimes.
I fear that FWC's run as a tag team uh went out with with a whisper instead of a roar.
Possibly. Possibly. People were kinda saying, "Oh, is Hazuki gonna leave?" Or I didn't get that vibe from her, but I don't know, maybe Queen's Quest does need people, but I never got the vibe Hazuki was upset after
I
this.
immediately got the vibe because, like, yeah, she had the 1,000 yard stare, and I was like, that's a unique way to be like, because like
Yes.
I don't know, it's different from every other time she's lost a title match because she loses title matches all the fucking time.
Mhm.
But this one felt especially taxing for her. Um, but I don't know because the next day they started something up with Kid and Hazuki,
Yes.
which Hazuki's not gonna join the youngins, so I don't know what's going on
Well,
with
no, she
that.
was never gonna join them. If anything,
Well, no,
it would be
I know,
Queen's
but
Quest.
like no, that's what I've been saying is I think Hazuki going to Queen's Quest. Honestly, for a second I was like, man, what if they put all of the like the bummed out losers in Queen's Quest, um, meaning
Mm,
Ano, Hazuki, and Saya. But that
that would
would
be
be way too.
crazy. Overpowered.
I feel like that'd be way too aggressive. Like because Ano and Mizuki are
Partially.
both very much like, you know, trying to get that white belt, and it's
Mm,
not like in a Natsupoi Ano way where it's like they could be like kind of like a tasteful type of. It's like they should be competing for this white belt. I don't know why they wouldn't be, but then again, that's every faction.
yes, pretty much. After the match then as well, Oedo Tai came out to challenge for the tag belts, which is kind of interesting. Um, I'm gonna assume that was you that just made the weird wiry noise. Ah, that was
Oh,
you.
sorry,
um,
my
Oedo Tai
I had to
challenged.
disconnect my headphone for a second. It
Yeah,
was
I could like actively hear
tangling.
the click somehow. It was strange.
My bad.
Um, that was that show. The next show I thought had kind of a lot more energy to it. It was
Oh,
in
God's I
Shinjuku
closed the
of all places.
show, including Nanami. She's officially back in the group.
Well, of
She's
course,
here.
yeah. They
What a
remembered
legend.
that there are like 8 members of God's Eye. It's great.
Fuck yeah.
But this show was in Shinjuku and it was in the Sumitomo Hall in front of 346 fans. In our opener, Maika and Hanako beat Sai Kamatani and Rian and the team of Sai Ida and Momo Kogo. Maika beat Rian with a rolling lariat in 12 and a half minutes, and I enjoyed this one.
I did
I
too.
was There's enough good wrestlers here to kind of make up for some of the not as good wrestlers, and also Saya Kamatani and Rihanna are a good pairing. Quite like them together.
I agree, and I think that we had the golden generation, what's left of them, doing really good combos against each other. Like really
Yes.
good sequences, and they were very much like focused here. And then when Komomo and Hanako and Ryan got in, it usually wasn't against one another. Like all three of them weren't in the ring a lot
Mhm.
together. There was usually at least one person to kind of hold down the fort, which was good.
Can I just say, Micah wearing the EXV shirt and rolling up the sleeves, great look.
I mean, Micah, period, good look.
That's
Um,
fair.
like, have you seen her? You know what I mean? Like,
I
respectfully.
have. I watch all of her matches.
I don't, but
Um,
you know,
but yeah, I enjoyed this honestly. If they want to do more Rian Saya Kamatani stuff, I'm here. Um, yeah, the Golden Gen just work really well together. And
hmm
that was actually setting up the post match where Micah was like, "Hey, we still have your back. You know, we're the golden generation still. You should hang out with us." And Ida said, "Yeah, look, you're not alone. We're the golden gen. Units. Who gives a shit about units? We have a bond, and let's do it." So they set up the return of the golden generation, and they're going to team with Korkauen, which we will get onto later. Do you have anything else to say on the match?
not in the match. I think
No,
that's cool that they kind of did that.
that's fair. Um, Next match was Xena versus Aya Sakura. Xena won in 8.5 minutes with a thunderstruck. And this is where I really realized Aya Sakura needs more time to be a
Mm.
singles wrestler. I thought Xena was a decent bully to like work against her. And
Man,
honestly, Xena has had such a jump presentation wise. She came out here with the cape and the black gear
the black.
and like the black gear and the cape and her eye makeup was on point. And I was like, she went from somebody who had very poor charisma and projectability to somebody who is quite a star. Maybe not
She's
like a
girl
tip top star,
bossing.
but
She's
she
gatekeeping. She's
yes,
stand
yes,
queening.
she is. Like if you wanted to make her the number two of a group, I feel like it would work.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Mina don't work here no more, so she kind of already is.
that's fair,
Um,
that's fair. But yeah, she her presentation is great, and I think she was a good bully here
I
against
thought
a
that
wrestler who still needs time.
I literally laughed out loud when Xena caught one of Aya's kicks and just started yelling, "Say you're sorry!
That was great. Yeah,
Say
yeah.
you're sorry!" And I was
And
like,
slapped
"No!"
her.
And then she smacks her.
It was crazy.
Oh, that was a great spot. Yeah, I think that is one thing is I think Xena's just like her vibe has gotten a lot better because like she's been a
Mhm.
good wrestler. Like that like even her first run, it became pretty clear that it's like oh she's like good. She's at
Yeah,
least
the
she's at least
Mariah
competent.
May thing kind of overshadowed that Xena
Yeah,
was doing really
that
good
Xena was
work.
also very good.
Um,
Um,
I loved the Club Venus anyway. I thought the five of them clicked, even though they shouldn't
yeah,
have.
but
Like even when Jesse was there, I was like, this works. And I don't think Jesse has wrestled since, but it worked. I wanted more of Jesse.
it's crazy they
Um,
brought over Jesse. By the way, that was a crazy pick.
what's her name?
Um,
The woman who's does everything.
Huh?
The L one from JD Star.
The what one?
The old woman who gets everybody the tours.
Oh, Sumi.
Sumi, yeah, Sumi's Kai's finest work was getting us Jesse. I was
The
like, I
old
know
woman from JD Star. That is crazy.
there's only one old woman from JD Star still active, let's be honest.
Megumi Yabushita's right there. They
Who
were
the
tag
fuck is
team
that?
champions.
Who
We talked
tell
about her
me
last night.
tell
What are
me
you
when the
talking
last time
about?
anybody has watched Megumi Yabushita in a match.
Literally yesterday.
Why did you watch her yesterday? What was she doing?
No, I watched it. I watched it the other day on the JWP show from 2015.
Okay, well,
This
that's
year, no, I've seen her wrestle in a match this year.
okay, but anyway, yes, Sumi Sakai's finest work. That and Cameron Brené working a Stardom show and then promptly retiring. That was interesting.
Yeah, maybe Storm just makes maybe they get in the ring with Star wrestlers are like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fine. Like
Mhm.
I got some of her shit in. I thought that was cool. And I thought Xena, came across cool, but it wasn't like a good match.
Okay, that's fair. Our next match was Waka Tsukiyama beating Sayaka Kurara and Lady C. Waka won with the Okuraku Don in 6.5
Man,
minutes. It's basically the straight jacket, sit down. I thought this was better than it had any right to be. They were all just having fun with it. I don't know if it was good, but I had a good time, you know.
I think
Um,
we have gotten to the point where we need to have a conversation about Waka getting wins.
no,
I don't
we're
think that
okay.
should happen.
Why is Lady C wearing cat girl headphones?
Yeah, so I don't know
What's
what the
why
fuck
is
you're
she an
talking about.
e-girl
That
gamer now?
this has been her gear. Like she has worn this like for years.
Really? She has worn that exact head
Oh, maybe
gear.
not to the ring. I don't know why she's wore it to the ring, but she
That's what
has
I was
worn
saying.
that forever.
I
Yeah.
I didn't understand why she had it, but I was like, oh, maybe she's going in some cool new directions. She's a gamer girl now.
You know, well, no, she's a vlogger, and she wears that in her vlogs. You know what I mean?
She vlogs?
Sometimes
I did not
she
know
has like
this.
little
Lady
Twitter
C has a
vlogs,
whole
and
secret
she
life.
gets
This is
very
crazy.
popular.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
wild.
well, because I don't know if you know this, but Lady C is a very attractive woman, and she's very wholesome and likable generally. So she like goes on the internet and is like, yeah, I went to Disney World and I hung out and it was a lot of fun, and she like voiceovers it, and people eat that shit up. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's just so
Why are you
funny.
laughing so hard, man? You make it sound way weirder than it was.
No, I was like, I know. I don't know why you said it in such a manner. It's like she is. We all have eyes. That it's
Bro, wait,
okay.
wait, 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 no. The most recent Lady C tweet is in Japanese. The lady ate it all up in June. There are no more left.
What a queen. What an icon.
Oh, she's a legend. Why
She's
didn't she
incredible.
win?
I
She
don't
has the
know.
choke slam, and
That's true.
she's like cool.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That was that match. Our next match was Saiki Kashima and Ami Sourei beating Natsupoi and Yuna Mizumori. Saiki Kashima, Saiki Kashima got the win over Natsupoi with a revival in 8 minutes.
So this is bad audio, but you're on the results page, yeah?
Yeah,
Can you click the first picture and the last picture and just like look at the difference in Saki Kashima?
it is being very weird for me, but
This is unfortunate. In
okay.
the first picture where they're
She's very
posing,
happy. She's very oh
she's
my
like
god.
cool,
Okay, I
and
see
then
it
it
now.
looks like she went
She
through a
looks like she
fucking war.
lost. Like she
Yeah,
literally looks like she lost.
she legit looks like she like went through like 2 months of trauma, and it was
Yeah.
a 8-minute match.
She looks like she's been in an anime fight, where like
Yeah,
They're
get
they
fucking
they're only
tossed off a
halfway
mountain.
through. Yeah, they're only halfway through, but they're disheveled and dead, and they have to power up at least 4 more times.
Yeah.
She's on that shit. Um, I really came away from this being like Saki Kashima is so good at everything because she wanted to tag in, and it was one of the loudest pops of the show. Like her character stuff is just so naturally over that the crowd loves when she's like, "I'm in, tag me in, boss," because something's funny is about to happen. Um, she just the way she's able to work a crowd is so rare. I feel like if she were to go away tomorrow, we would miss her forever. Like I'd appreciate her while she's here because nobody this fun is going to come along for a while. And yeah,
And now
I
they're doing
really enjoyed her
crossover
here.
matches. Just give me her versus Sakura Hirota.
Honestly, I don't know why nobody has booked that yet. Yeah, you can imagine I did enjoy this match, given how
Mm.
much I loved Saki. Um, yeah, obviously Unimon and Natsupoi are a good team too.
Yeah,
Unimon's
no,
great.
I agree.
We need to start having conversations about Unimon.
Unimon
She's too good for like
she's
second match
solid.
on the card.
She
I'd say
she
she's better than solid.
I think I think that like, and you hate it when I use this as kind of a cop out. I think her vibe is not as good as her wrestling.
But it can be.
No, I don't disagree. I like yeah. But I do think that like she just feels weaker than her wrestling is. You know what I mean? And I don't know
Yeah,
why. I don't know why that's where we're at, but
but she's in a very
um
colorful faction. I think that doesn't help. In
yeah.
Gato move, there was a colorful world, but she was able to almost be the serious one at times and stood out.
She was
Um,
the powerhouse. There weren't many powerhouses in
yeah, like
Gato Move
she
too.
obviously did a lot of different stuff in Gato, but her best run was when she was like saying swear words and everybody thought she had like killed somebody,
Mhm,
and that was Unimon. That was when she really broke out to me. Was that run in the Choco Pro when she was a
mhm.
heel ish? Um, but yeah, there's no way to do that really in Cosmic Angels because if you do, I'm the pineapple, yay! You're just gonna blend into the crowd, but then you also can't be saying swear words, or else they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" And people are gonna think she's going to a Ueda tie. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think she's in a
I
tough
think
spot.
she is because like whenever I watch her, I was like, oh yeah, Unimon's quite good, but I
Mhm.
actively forget she is on the roster fairly
That's crazy.
frequently.
I never do because she's
And I
always in the
watch
best,
her
like one of the
like
best
that's the thing is
matches.
that I watch her because I've been watching Cosmic Angels pretty like
Yeah.
they've become good enough to where it's like I watch most of the Cosmic Angels matches. But like
Mhm.
I just forget that she's just like a roster member who is like who wrestles in Stardom just as much as like fucking Mayu does.
Yeah,
Like that she is like I completely forget about it.
that's fair. She doesn't really do much, so I
Yeah.
can see why. Um, how was that match though? On to the next one. Syuri, Konami, Rani Agami, and Hina of God's Eye beat Natsuko Tora, Tekla, Arena, and Raka. Syuri pinned Tekla with a glowing flame. Um, I don't know. In
I haven't watched
15
this.
minutes.
I think it's the Buzzsaw. Oh, and no, it's the Ryuin.
Oh yes, okay, that makes sense. I, I think I enjoyed this.
I didn't watch it.
There was some good bits. Rana and Rina did some. Syuri was beating people. Um, yeah, there was no Momo, and I think that was when I went, "Oh, Tekla's like the key to this group when Momo's not around," and it made me upset
Yo,
that they haven't done
that
anything with
shit
the
should
idol killer thing.
die. Um,
It's crazy. What's
I
going?
like I like the way God's Eye looks with Hina. I think Hina kind of like fits the aesthetic. More
I
than
don't
I
think
thought
she
she
goes
would.
to God's Eye, which is a weird thing because Lady
Yeah,
C probably goes there instead,
Lady
and you
C is
don't
definitely
have
going to
both.
God's Eye.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know where
Which is a
Hina
shame because
goes.
Lady C's best stuff was with Micah, but they're not gonna put her in the XV for some reason. So
I think that would be kind of a that would kill. Well, they don't even like Lady C that much. They could just put her in EXV. I don't know why. Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, who's to say? They did a weird thing here where Roaka was gonna use a box to cheat, and she threw it to Konami, and the referee was like, "Hey, don't do that." And Konami was like, I literally don't use it. Like, what are you doing?" That was weird.
See,
I will
no,
admit that was weird.
no, no, no. I think she's turning.
Oh, no, because it wasn't like that. It was meant to be like an
No,
Eddie
but
Guerrero
okay, but
style,
this is
like,
the
"Oh,
second time.
she's cheating," but she didn't. It was weird.
What if the reason for the chair shot was to pay off this spot in a smaller venue?
Maybe.
Um,
Do you think that Taro just loves the false turn stuff? Because he did with Xena already. Of like, "Oh, is she gonna
probably.
join away to tie?" And then she didn't, and Konami's gonna do the same, where it's like, "Oh, is she gonna turn on Syuri?" And then she doesn't, and everybody's meant to go, "Yay!" Nobody goes, "Yay,"
You
because
know,
I don't know.
not to get into it, but like
Yeah, we
I was
probably
just thinking
shouldn't. We
about
have
it.
Marigold to do as well. It's.
This is true. Not much Marigold, but this is
Yeah,
true.
but I want to
Um,
talk about Marigold. Like, I like Marigold.
and this is very off topic, so you will get mad at me.
Oh, sweet lord.
It's crazy how well, like how good the shield turn was, because like no turn
How on
is
earth did
good
you get
like
to the
that
shield?
anymore. No, because I was thinking it's like with the fake outs and shit, like or like I was thinking about the Momo turn, the Momo turn in the recent match that the double thing, and I was just thinking, I was like, man, like even if you like knew or like heard that like, oh, Seth's probably turning, like just the way they did that was very well done.
Mm,
That like I just wish more turns could be well done in that way. Because
yeah.
it feels like they just aren't ever.
I obviously don't like bringing her up, but I remember the Hannah turn was done really well. I think
Yes,
that's one of the
yes.
few that, like, was really good. But yeah,
Oh man, I was
turns in
bummed
wrestling are
about
so
that for like a
difficult.
week.
Yeah,
Not even a week, for like a month. Like that was a like like it hurt. It hit. It
yeah.
was very well done. And I don't know if
But,
they've done a good one since.
um, I would have to get back
Bees was
to you.
good. Bees was actually good. Uh
These was good.
her hugging Momo and then Kamigoing her. That was a
Yeah.
good turn.
I don't know if there's been any babyface turns. Does anybody turn babyface in this company?
Kid, bad.
That wasn't well done. Her and Saki was just
No.
kicked out.
Yeah.
No,
At
nothing
least
else done.
Saki's kicking out made sense. Ruaka was just like, "Man, I'm sick of this kid."
That was funny, yeah.
And that was like,
Well,
"Okay, I guess." Um,
I don't know.
no,
Shall we get
not
to the
really
good
many
shit?
babyface turns.
Can we get
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
good
we
shit?
can.
So the main event of the show was great. It was Starlight Kid, Azumi, Mei Seira, and Miyu Amasaki beating Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki, Koguma, and Hanan. Mei Seira pinned Hanan with the shooting star in 14 minutes. This match right here is why you make this group with Crazy Generation. Their matches are going to be insane. Um, they were definitely a lot more of a unit here, and you could tell it just helped the match flow a lot better. And stars are stars, so they're excellent. This was like shirt ripping, ready to run through a wall kind of match where you're just like, I love this shit. Give it to me all the
Did
time.
Kid get any offense in?
Yeah,
I feel like she's got beat up for 5 minutes straight, tagged out, and did not get back in.
maybe,
But
but that sounds like your dream match. To be fair,
no, I thought it was like funny. I was like, "Damn, she is."
of course.
She's getting cooked.
But they did so much as well. I think in this they did the Hazuki Kid tease. They did Mei, Sarah, and Hanan closing and furthering their feud. They did Mayu Azumi, and I was like, "This is great shit."
Naruto's
Um,
finest.
yeah, this was a great match. I don't know
Yeah,
what to
they
tell you,
got
man. This was
Azumi
awesome.
and Mei doing some sequences together, some
Yeah.
combos I really liked. That was really cool. Miyu got in there and was like got the
Oh,
hot
me,
tag,
Amasaki, dude,
House of
going crazy.
Fire. Yeah, I really like this. So that was very, very good. Near the end, Mei was like they were beating the fuck out of each other, Mei and Hanan, and
Hmm.
Stars would come in and Mei lost her fucking tooth because I think it's because Hazuki like fucked her up on a code breaker, but
I
it
know,
also could have been like any other thing that happened near the end of the match because they were beating the
probably.
fuck out of her. Uh, but yeah, I thought this was really good. Among the best of the weekend for Stardom for sure. Um, yeah, I just thought it was a great showing from everyone involved. Always love to see Mayu just kind of give a little bit more.
Hmm.
This wasn't a lot of bit more. I've seen her on house shows just randomly like show up and be like very commanding. That wasn't this, but this was enough for where she was like contributed to the match, making it
Yeah.
making it as good as it could be.
Um, I had something. Oh yeah, I liked in the post match. I thought it was interesting how they got Miyu Amasaki kind of involved, where Kid was very directly like, "I know yesterday you said I'll do what Azumi does, but I want to know how you feel." And Miyu was like, "I'm not really ready to move on from Queen's Quest." Um, Part of me worries that they might split them, but I think they've done too much now at this stage to split Miyu and Azumi, so I think they're just threading it out. And yeah, Kid and Miyu's relationship seems to be one of the more interesting things about this new group because they were like very much not on the same page, and now they're teaming together on Thursday. It is like, hey, I want you to voice yourself. I want to hear you as a wrestler kind of speak. So I think this group might end up being the vehicle to get Miyu Amasaki up the card more than anything, which would be
I think
interesting.
I think that's actually what we're looking at here.
Especially
Um,
if, Fumi was right and Kid and Azumi both do leave. You have to shoot Miyu Amasaki up the group then.
yeah. Yeah, I like this match a lot, like I said, and I am very in. Hmm. That's actually interesting. I don't think this is going to stand, especially since there's 5 of them. But at some point, instead of the Eternal Foes, Starlight Kid called them the Eternal Four,
Oh, that's good.
which would have to be the Eternal Five
Suzu, get out.
because
We
Suzu.
don't need you.
We do need you.
Suzu, go
Please don't get
elsewhere.
out.
No, Suzu, you go somewhere else.
Unless
We
you're going
need
to
Suzu.
Marigold, stay here.
Yeah, we've got cool branding now. Fuck off.
But yeah, and also it would be funny if they are the Eternal Four and then half of them leave.
Well, I think they could still do that. I remember TNA had Fortune, and then there was
Fortune
like 8 of
4.
them. It was
Yeah,
like we're Fortune, and then there was like 8 guys. It was like you're not really Fortune
they're gonna
anymore.
change some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am very interested in this group. Obviously, I just really hope they just fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I like that they're still teaming together though on shows. It's not just random. It's like we will do this eventually. We're just waiting for you guys to be ready. I don't mind that as much, but yeah, I would like a name or just something to unify them so we can get a kind of a grip of what they are actually like as a group. Because they do
This is
still feel like
very
individuals.
this is very random, but Hazuki is very short. Like I'd be forgetting because like she's just like looking
They're
up
very
at
small.
Hanan in one of these pictures.
Yeah,
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like she's
yeah,
that much taller than you? That's crazy.
that's how it works. Have I ever told you that I met Kagetsu and it was really funny? Because he was like in a chair as well, and it was just like talking to a child. He is so small.
Yeah,
Um,
no, because that's the thing is that Hazuki's taller than Kagetsu.
yeah.
So like you always, like you look back at like that or whatever, and Hazuki's up against like standing with Mayu and Hanan, so they're tall. But like when you actually like think about it, it's like damn, homegirl's a
Mhm.
chibi. Fucking Kelly Klein was right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the Joshi wrestlers are small. I think Utami as well was surprisingly small when I met her. Oh, I
Mm,
can't remember because I think she was like the same rough height as me, which is when you see her in the ring, you think she's like 10 feet tall, but then she
yeah,
is actually not. She is a normal sized
she's
human.
quite literally larger than life.
I'm right. Um, we have one show then to preview. There are two this weekend, but they probably won't set up the weekend one until Thursday happens. So this Thursday's Korkauen is the first of that Stardom Nighter stuff that they started to do. So I'm very
Mm,
interested in how this does because this is branded as cheap tickets during the week. You can go after school, go after work, and just kind of enjoy yourself for the evening. So front row seats are like 15,000 yen, and I think generally they are a lot more expensive than that. So and they also have under 18 seats as well that are like discounted and stuff. So
mm.
they are trying to get like more people in the door with kind of an interesting strategy here. So very intrigued
Oh
by
yeah,
how this
one
goes.
one small little note about the new God's Eye is that Saki Kashima has already been like, "Ooh, I get to hang out with one of the sisters," because she's obviously teamed with all 3 of the sisters now.
Oh yeah.
Um, and Lady C is like, stay away from her. Don't
Oh
touch
my
her.
god.
Don't be near her. Because yeah, Lady C fucking hates Saki Kashima. Like that's like she also again, Lady C, great at Twitter. Um,
Hmm.
she has a hashtag that says "I will never forgive Saki Kashima." that she puts on all of her tweets that in any way have to do with Saki Kashima.
That's
I think
fair,
that's very
honestly.
funny.
I feel like people forget the meme Lady C era when she first showed up and everybody was making memes about her and she was giving us templates. Like she was posting
Hmm.
tall lady templates to make memes with. It was very fun. Um,
Like I said, very good at Twitter.
yeah, very, very good. How was she a teacher? I just never understand. Then again, I have a
I don't because
friend who's a
she's
teacher, and he is very interesting. So
no, yeah,
maybe
actually,
teachers are just a
same.
different breed.
Actually, come to think
Yeah.
of it.
Anyway, this show kicks off with Tam Nakano beating Rian. Obviously, it's a preview, but she is going to beat Rian. So,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, interesting. So then we have
Is it?
Wakasukiyama and Hanako versus Rian. No, not Rian. Rina and Azusa Inaba. So that's fun.
Where is the Oh, it's Korkauen. Yeah,
Korkauen,
yeah, that
yes.
makes sense. So I was gonna
So
say,
this is a
what are the Inubus doing here?
this is a preview of the New Blood tag situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I'm
Hanako
once
and
again
Waka
asking.
probably lose because they're probably winning the belts, and you'd have them lose
Yeah,
here. Yeah.
that'd be
Okay.
smart.
All right. We then have Hazuki, Hanan, and Momokogo versus Unimon, Ayasakura, and Sayaka Kurara. Can the work rate angels get a great match out of Momokogo? We will
Momo
see.
Kogo
We'll
is
learn.
a good wrestler. I don't know, like she's not great, but she's good.
Only in America, she goes beast mode for them
No,
young scholars.
she's had a couple good tag matches here and there.
I guess she's alright sometimes.
In fact, I think they usually are against Cosmic Angels, so this should be good.
Probably, yeah. I don't know who. Oh, I know who wins. That Cosmic Angels team is not winning. Jesus. Okay. Our next match, and I do like this one: Azumi and Mei Sarah versus Mina Shirakawa and Xena. So we get a look at Azumi and Mei together, and we also have Mina and Xena maybe picking up a win, getting some steam in the tag division.
Now, what you know about that 15-minute draw?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we have to have a 15-minute draw on every show now, so that's fair.
In fact, I think
Okay.
this probably should be the 15-minute draw.
Um, looking through, yes, yes, definitely. Um, where was I? I'm lost now. Okay, so
That
the
does sound
next
like a very
match.
fun match, though.
It does definitely. The next one is the God's Eye team of Syuri, Konami, Saki Kashima, Rani Yagami, and not God's Eye member Hina, taking on Oedo Tai. It's Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Tekla, Uraka, and Fukigen Death. Oedo Tai probably wins 50-50. I can't believe you yawned. That's crazy.
That was a shoot yawn. I mean, it fit timing wise, but
I
it
know
was
because your
actually yawn.
microphone went off halfway as if you went, "Oh shit!" Just
Ugh.
remembered. Yeah, who cares? Our next match, I love this one. This is going to be crazy. Mayu Utani and Koguma versus Starlight Kid and Miyu Amasaki on their day 4 of the best wrestlers in this company. This is going to be nuclear. I hope. I pray.
Depends
Um,
on where they get placed, because Koguma, the further up the card Koguma is, the more likely she's going to fucking bump on her neck and kill people.
yeah, I'd imagine it's close to the actual order um, as it's
Then yeah,
posted.
it should
So
probably be pretty cool.
yeah, I don't know
This
who
is a pretty
wins.
stacked card. I'm not
It
gonna
is.
lie.
It's really good.
Uh, every match looks. It's a God's sake. No, wait a time. Outside of that,
Right at my side. Yeah,
yeah, every
right
match
aside, not
looks
included.
quite good.
Yeah.
Even this upcoming trios one with Lacey and Ami, I think like they have good pairings here,
Mhm,
and they'll probably do good there. Like, yeah, this is a really good card.
mhm.
Um, I don't know who wins here. I mean, I would think somebody might pin Koguma. Um,
Maybe.
but we'll see. The
Kura
other thing
Miyu,
is that
maybe.
starting on this show, uh, conversations about who gets into the 5-star will begin because
Ah, yes.
it's July, so
Yeah.
we're in crunch time now.
We're gonna have to get that field soon because usually they announce it, like, 6 weeks or so in advance, generally, I think.
I mean, last time around they announced it like fucking 5 months in advance,
Yeah.
but yeah, like they have to announce it, within the next 2 weeks, I would think.
Mm.
Maybe on I would imagine on one of the Korkins, either this one or the weekend one.
Yeah, maybe actually
I
the
would
Sunday
hope.
one would be good. Um, oh god. Our next match is the Golden Generation Trio and also a preview tag for the World of Stardom Championship match. It's Maika, Saya Kamatani, and Saya Ida taking on Tomoka Inaba, Amisore, and Lady C. I hope they do lots of Inaba and Maika, and the rest can just kind of exist. I would imagine the Golden Gen wins because Lady C.
Hmm.
That's kind of that.
Yeah, probably Mike over Lady C.
Yeah, I think so. And then in our main event, one of our big asks coming out of the last pay per view was get Mika Iwata on the shows, and they delivered. It's Mika Iwata and Manami from Sendai Girls taking on Saori
I
Anou.
did the
I'm glad. I'm glad.
you know,
Saori Anou and
the
Natsupoi.
pose
I am super into this. I think all
as
four
am I.
are great. Sendai Girls, especially tag team wrestling, is just their shit. I don't know what they do there, but all of them are exceptional tag wrestlers. Minami is currently one half of the tag team champions. I think she's a really good wrestler. It was fun to see people go from, oh, she's the funny scream girl, to, oh, she cooks.
Yeah,
Because
she's
I was,
fucking tremendous.
was it her and Hiroyo were briefly a team, and I was like, dude, she's kicking ass. Like, pay
That
attention to
might be
this
it.
girl.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's really good, and obviously Miki Iwata is exceptional. So this has very high potential. I don't know what they do for the finish, because I don't know if Ano can lose again unless they're fully putting her out of the picture and it's Natsupoi versus Iwata.
See, okay,
Um,
so I'm looking at this. Now I'm looking at the card because I think an interesting way to go is Mika over Ano.
mhm,
Um, here, and I don't think Natsupoi challenges for the 15th. I have a
okay.
feeling somebody else who wins earlier in the card comes out, challenges her for the 15th, loses, and then
Mm,
Mika faces Natsupoi. I think that, like you said, I think Ano's gonna like it's gonna take longer for Ano to recover. I think the 5-star will probably be when she gets it back, right?
yeah,
Um, and I think she'll probably go on a decent run there, and then she'll challenge presumably Natsupoi, who may or may not be white belt champion by then, um, at year end. The other thing
yeah.
about the 5-star is that the 5-star is early and it
Mhm,
ends early specifically,
mm.
so there's like 3 months before year end between the 5-star.
Yeah, yeah, they have to fill that gap.
So
Um,
I don't know what we're doing there, but
Me neither.
we'll see.
I The one thing I don't see is Minami losing just because she's tag champ.
No,
Um,
she shouldn't lose. That's why I think it's pretty easy to have Mika pin Ano again
yeah.
and have Ano, get a little bit deeper because it's not like she's giving up falls to anybody that's not, Mika or Ami or
Yeah,
Poi.
they're
Like I
they're
feel
still,
like
like,
that's where we're at.
protected. Who do you think
Yeah.
challenges then? Because it's probably not anyone. It's definitely not Mina or Xena. I wouldn't say it's anybody from the Kid tag.
It probably
The
shouldn't be
Golden Gen
Kid.
is wrapped up in their own stuff, so you're really looking at Hazuki's team or Ham.
No, I would say either Hazuki or Azumi.
I don't know about Azumi, but I wouldn't
Azumi's
mind it.
first white belt challenge being in Sendai would be kind of shit though.
Yeah,
Um, Not shit, just like I
Hazuki,
think it
because
would be
Hazuki has that
weird.
previous experience wrestling Iwata. You remember that brief
Yes, I
thing? Well,
do.
she didn't wrestle Iwata. Iwata kicked the shit out of Kigetsu, and it
Uh,
was it was cool.
Voke never lets me fucking forget it.
That
Um, yeah,
was meant to
I
be the
feel like
moment. We all thought
Hazuki's
Iwata was gonna launch, and then she like broke her neck or whatever and was gone for forever. So that was weird.
I feel like Hazuki or Mika ain't beating Shuri. Yeah, I think it's probably
No.
Hazuki.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm thinking. If it's not Poi, it has to be Azuki. But maybe it
yeah.
is just Natsupoi because she did work Sendai last year, so there is kind of
Yeah,
an
no, I'm
established
not
thing.
opposed to it. I just think that's like so then you have either Natsupoi lose to Mika or Mika loses the belt in 3
Yeah,
weeks.
maybe
Both of
too
those are
soon.
bad
I
decisions.
get you. I'm interested though. I feel like they have got us very intrigued by what's going on. So
Certainly.
fair play.
Yeah.
Um, that's Stardom as far as I'm
It
aware.
is.
There's no cards for the other Korkan. And if we the thing with this week is if we had waited any longer, we'd have probably not been able to preview this Korkan, and we'd have had the Wednesday announcement to factor in. So it was either record early or record too late and have like 20 things to do. So we recorded early. Now, that did give us a chance to discuss Marigold, and I did get lucky because today they announced the full card for the Summer Destiny show at Sumo Hall. We
They did
won't
not announce the
preview
cards
it.
for this weekend though.
No, no, they didn't. We won't preview it in full just because we'll do that obviously next week, but we'll just kind of give some the overall thoughts on some things and discuss one big news piece. Um, so, in an interesting move, they do have a dark match, and that dark match features the debut of Ria Seto. Is it Seto?
Seto.
Seto. Ria Seto.
It's a JoJo's reference.
Okay, I'm gonna assume I'm just running with it being for Seto Kaiba because Yu-Gi-Oh for life.
No,
Um,
it means God. It's a stand user, I
that
believe.
is fucking beast. But anyway, this is the former Rhea Marimori from Sendai Girls, and she's debuting against Komomo Minami, and it is on the pre-show, which I think is kind of strange, but maybe less eyes and less pressure, and they
I
want the
wouldn't have put
one
it on the
debut.
pre.
I think they
Well,
want the one debut on the actual card to be a big one, so they're not putting Rhea also debut there.
Io Shirai and Rhea Seto, same difference.
That's true.
Um,
Um,
yeah, I don't
th-
know. I don't really like it being on the pre-show. I probably would put it on the main show, but I'm gonna watch it anyway, so it's like it doesn't really matter
Fair enough. Fair enough.
because it's
You're really
important.
into the JoJo's girl, huh?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I like rookies in general, and
Mm,
the couple like the 2 matches I saw of her, yeah, I think it was just 2 matches I saw of her. She seemed pretty competent and pretty
yeah,
cool. Uh, I like her vibe, and I think Kamo Minami at the presser was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And she's
crazy.
like, I, I'm Ray. I like JoJo. Sorry.
That's funny though, because like, have you not seen me in class? Like we were training
Yeah.
together like an hour ago. Like I've been there for a few weeks now. That's funny. But the actual card kicks off then with Koki and Chika Goto taking on Victoria Yuzuki and X. In unrelated news, today it was announced that Kazuna Tanaka has left Pro Wrestling Wave.
Big kids.
So big Kiz. I kind of had that in the back of my mind that they would do a big Sumo Hall debut for Kazuna, kind of because that seems peak Rossi. He did that with Takumi because he was like, "Oh, this is my big golden prospect." So she debuted at Sumo Hall, and I was like, "He's going to do that with Kazuna because her dad's been like, this is your future ace since she was born." So I think this is a very interesting match for the tag team division. I wouldn't be shocked if these
You
are
know
two of
what's
the
what's really
teams
funny?
who end up in a final of a tournament or something.
This is just all rebellion. Um, because
What's that?
Kazuna's favorite wrestler is Keno,
Oh,
and fucking Yuzuki trained with Kaito, and
sick.
they're a tag team in Noah called Our Rebellion.
Pretty sick. Um, we
They're
also have
losing,
actress
but
time. There is a
you know,
performance, a dance
maybe.
by
Wait,
the
wait, wait.
actress girls.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. My
Yeah,
bad.
we're gonna preview it then. So actress girls with Princess Tenko actress time. This is a sorry for poaching half your roster to the sack, and probably a sorry for when we poach more people in future, because this ain't the end. If you're not giving out contracts, people will leave. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
but
how
who?
that's gonna go.
There's a couple. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't get Natsuki. That is like an Arisa Hoshiki clone. Orange, throws kicks, does Arisa Hoshiki moves. How have you not signed her yet? But, Also the pink-haired one, I think she's the
Is
big
that
baby face of the revival.
Kanamic? I don't know who the
Maybe.
fuck.
They
I spelled
haven't
her. I
kept up
said her name
post
incorrectly.
split. I don't think it's her. I think it's a different. She used to be a baby. That used to be her gimmick, was she's a baby, but now she's like the big baby face against because they did a rebrand. Actress
Yeah,
girls. They
I
did.
know.
There was an alien invasion and a rebrand, and now the baby is
Actress
a big baby
killers.
face. Yeah, it's something. But anyway, that's actress lore. The next match is Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki versus Myla Grace and Zeta Steel. This is another, I think, setup for the tag division, specifically Chiaki and Nagisa, who paired up on the shows this weekend, which we will talk about. Um, there is Natsumi Shozuki versus Misa Matsui for what they are now once again calling the Super Flyweight belt. They had stopped calling it the Super Flyweight belt, but it is now the Super Flyweight belt again, which we knew already. Um,
The presser was very funny because not Misa Matsui's doing her stage play right now, so she's out.
yeah,
So it was just Natsumi Shizuki looking at Rossi being like, "Where the fuck's my belt?" And he's like,
it's a
"It's
beast.
still in America." And she's like, "No,
Go
but
for it.
why does everybody else get the fucking like they get to see their belts? Where's my belt?" And he's like, "Just please be patient. I'm sorry, it's not here yet." And
She
she's
ain't
like, "Well,
messing
when I
around.
get my belt." And I thought that was
Um,
they're like camaraderie is very noticeable that they've known each other for a long
yes.
time.
Um, The next match is Marigold versus LLPWX. Nanai Takahashi, Nao Ishikawa, and Mai Sakurai take on Shinobu Kandori, Takako Inoue, and Nori. So I preferred the 2-on-2 match. I think three
Nice
on threes
try.
are just less fun in general. And I also am not sure how Mai
But
Sakurai fits what they were doing,
I
but
also
I
think that
trust Kandori
it's probably
and
smart
Takako.
because like we look at
Probably,
like
yeah.
what Kandori and Takako like were great at, and it was that they had Hazuki to kind of like fill in some of the gaps last year,
Mm.
right?
Then you're filling it with
Ken
Nori.
Can Nori do that? I don't know. Not as
I
well,
don't know.
definitely, but you know, I haven't seen I haven't seen a full Nori match ever, but I haven't seen Nori in ring in years. Uh, even clips of her. So we'll see with that. My Sakurai is a good fuck around and find out type of wrestler. Um,
True.
she will fuck around and then she will find out, and I think that's cool. But she isn't
Yeah,
like the
I
baby
feel
face
like
that now
it's
is.
yeah, I think as a 3-on-3, it slightly takes away from the now Ishikawa's leveling up.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make it work in the match, but as of now, I'm kind of like I wouldn't have changed it, but I don't know how
And
else to
did you
get
know
Nori on the
this
show.
match is for real estate?
Yes.
If Team Marigold wins, they get the dojo. Is this like pink
Hell
slips
yeah.
now? Except
They're
like
doing a screw job.
actual real estate. That's kind of crazy.
Sumo Hall screw job. I think Kandori would actually hurt someone though, so probably not. I wouldn't do that if I was them, but who knows. We then have a UN title finalist match. Mirai and Miko Aono wrestle again, and boy, will I get to that. The Queen of Queen match. Utami Hayashishita takes on Io Sky. Crazy that that's still happening. This now has the subheading of "You decide who you believe in," which is insanely petty, and I love it. Um, then round out the card with matches we knew: the UN title match, Bozilla versus Mirai or Miko Aono, and Sari versus Julia. Julia did note she's not fit yet. She's not cleared. Still. So
She has an evaluation either late this week or early next week.
yes. She also said, "I want this to be for the red belt, but only if I'm cleared." So not sure on the status of Julia versus Sari. Looks like they might just not run it if Julia isn't fit, and they won't do anything else. But maybe they will pivot. I don't know. They seem to assume Julia will be healthy. It's just about crossing the i's and dotting the
Yeah, that's what I
well,
was gonna
crossing
say.
the
Is that
t's, dotting
like
the i's. Yes.
correct? Yeah, I don't be crossing eyes personally. But I'm not Shawn Michaels. Um, but I think that they have to know that Julia's healthy because, like, you
They must be
can't
confident.
advertise Saori for the main event
Mm.
and not even give her a like, not like we were talking about, like, oh, maybe Mirai can like fill in and wrestle, you know, Saori or something, or Bozilla could wrestle Saori, or you could fill something in from that UN belt
Yeah,
story, and you could fill that in. Considering they are not doing that, Julia needs to be healthy. Like, you can't just not have Saori on the show. I'm gonna be
you're
honest.
right. You're right. Um, we then had two shows this past week as well for Marigold. These were on VOD, so we haven't seen them, but we can just run through the results real quick. Um, let's get them up. I dislike that Marigold is like, no, we're not posting our results anyway. You have to go to Cage Match. Um,
Does Cage Match even have him?
yeah, it does. Yeah, you just have to
Oh
go a
wow.
bit back. Um, the first show was in the Sendai Pit. They did 329 fans here, which I think is right in line with what Stardom has been doing. So that's pretty good. Um, Chiaki beat Komomo Manami in 11 minutes in the opener. Oh boy. Sure.
Oh, sorry. I
Um,
just saw that Itsuki Yamazaki was at Forbidden Door.
oh, sick. Yeah, the Jumping Bomb Males are very active lately.
Yeah, she
They should
was
get
hanging
back
out
in the
with
ring.
Shingo.
Get your
I
shit
agree.
together. Um, yeah, Chiaki.
Train at the LLPW dojo while it still exists.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, 11 minutes
Chiaki
for a
over
rookie.
Komomo. Good.
Yes. Okay.
I'm actually happy it went that long because I don't know. I think Komomo should
Have
probably be
fun
fast
watching it.
tracked a little bit. Um,
I guess.
in that to being able to work longer matches. Like,
I
we
guess.
should not be seeing her in 3-minute matches because she clearly has stuff to her. She's
Mm.
clearly far enough along to where she can work actual matches. Uh, it's just a matter of, like, getting her the reps. So I
Yeah.
actually like that it went 11 minutes there.
Bozilla and Myla Grace beat Naoshikawa and Natsumi Shizuki in also 11 minutes. Yeah.
Natsumi
So
Shizuki and Naoshikawa
Bozilla.
started beefing, blaming each other
Yes,
over
they
who
did. Yeah.
lost.
So lots happening there. Bozilla and Myla were kind of looking like a team, but then they fractured the next day. So I
They
don't know if that's a
lost,
thing.
so Bozilla hates her
Um,
now.
very interesting. Koki actually beat Yuzuki in 10 minutes. Yuzuki is slotted in near the bottom of this roster. It's kind of weird,
But did you know
but
what I
I'm
found
into it.
out? I heard Peps on a podcast this week. Koki's undefeated. She's the
Yeah,
only wrestler
that checks out.
who has not lost a match.
That is prime Rossi.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Did
Um,
Saori lose like a tag? I don't think so. So, but on the roster,
no.
only
Yeah,
person
that's
that's
crazy.
not lost a match.
Oh no, I was gonna say Julia, but she she lost her very first one. Um, yeah, Koki over Yuzuki. It's interesting. Yuzuki's placement is kind of fascinating to me.
A little bit, but it's gonna be a
Not
long
in a bad
road.
way. I'm just genuinely interested. We then had Mai and Utami Hayashishita beat Nagisa Nozaki and Zeta Steel in 7 minutes, which is pretty predictable. Utami's team is going to win. And the
It's
night
very
beat
funny.
Chika Goto in 13 minutes, so she almost went to the time limit there.
That sounds fun. That sounds good because
Mm,
the Nashikawa match, like we said, fell a little bit half baked at 8 minutes. It didn't feel like it was, you know, firing. But one thing that's interesting is that Mai Sakurai and Utami after the match looked like they were really happy that they got to tag together. And it's
mm.
just funny those like people who like work together for so long that you never really thought would be like, you know, homies. And after the match, they were like, "Yeah, we're the we're the royal fucking aristocrats or something." I don't know. Like Utami was like, "We're going to work on a name." I was like, "You're going to work on a name with Mai Sakurai?" But yeah, back to Chikugoto and Nanai. Chikugoto, she's moving up. She's moving up on my list. I think she's just
Wow,
really good.
crazy. We then had Mika Iono and Mirai go to back-to-back draws again. 6 draws in the space of 3 weeks. I think they're taking the piss. I think you could have done
They went
just about
Broadway.
anything else to do this. Like, I don't know if I'm
61
just
minutes.
being extra, but I think this was the worst possible way to get to what they did at Sumo Hall.
I don't think it was the worst possible way. I don't particularly like it, and I wish my thing like they wanted them to wrestle 60 minutes. That is what it was. That's where
Well,
we're at.
I think they just wanted to draw, and it's like you
No,
can
no,
draw
no,
in
no, no,
other
no, no.
ways.
Because if they were just wanting to draw, they would have done they would have mixed it up a little bit. They could have done a double knockout. They could have done
No,
a
not
double
that
count
draw.
out.
Like draw a house.
Oh, draw houses. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously they want to draw houses, but also this first tour was already doing well, like
Yeah, I
regardless of the cards
guess.
that they were announcing. So it's not like they needed like insane. I think they wanted to build them as rivals,
Mm.
and now 2 years from now, you will think of them as rivals, even if they barely lock up from now to then.
I feel like they did that in the first match. They did that very effectively in one match. I don't think you needed 6.
It wouldn't have been effective if they had finished in that match. I think if they had finished the last match, that probably would have been better. I think they didn't need to do this match at all. They probably could have just been like, you know what, you guys are gonna have to do it on the day. I think that would have made more
Yeah.
sense if they just didn't do the Sendai match at all.
Mm.
But I appreciated the first two draws. I haven't seen this draw, so maybe it's great. Maybe it's one of the best matches of Marigold history. Uh, but I'm not a fan of it in on paper.
Yeah.
They should have just done what they're doing here. Last week, like they could have just whatever. Um, but I don't hate it inherently. I just think that it was like a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I expect it to be more clever when you're still 2 or 3
Yeah,
months in.
like
If you're gonna
like I
get lazy a
said,
year in, that's fine, but I think this is just lazy, and
like I
we're
said,
only in month 3.
even if they had done it where it was like a double count out and a double knockout and a time limit draw, like if they did that instead, or not even like two time limit draws, and I've been saying this the entire time, two time limit draws, make the next one no time limit or a 30-minute
Mhm.
time limit or something, and have them go to a double knockout, and then it's like, damn, they like this is difficult, this is becoming like a problem, and then run it on Ryogoku. Like I'm cool with them running on Ryogoku. I think that's like an interesting way to do it. It's kind of protecting whoever wins there and loses to
Yeah.
Bozilla a little bit. Um, but like I don't mind that, but I do wish that like this match, the Sendai match, would have went to like a double knockout or something. Because I do think like how much can you really do with non finishes three times
Yeah.
in a row?
Yeah, especially because it's I mean, there was a draw again on the next show, and it's like, I feel like
That
he's
was because
already
of an
starting to
injury.
use it as a crutch.
That was because of an injury.
I get it, but I
Uh,
don't know.
I don't blame that one. Like me, because me and Scott were watching something while the results were coming out for that one. He's like, "Why the fuck was this a draw?" And then we were like, "Oh, Zeta's out, so they lost their pin eater," and they just were like, "Ah."
So was Chiaki as well. Was
No,
she not on the
no,
show? Oh, she was in the main event. Sorry.
yes,
Um, all right. Well, I don't know. I'm just worried that they're using the draw as a crutch, which is never good.
Hmm.
But anyway, the second show
Oh,
was
and you didn't mention after that match on the first show after the Nozaki tag, Chiaki
I thought that happened
ren-
here.
no, no,
The
no,
second one.
no.
Oh, I see.
No, it
Okay,
happened on the
sorry.
first one.
Got it mixed up.
Chiaki renounced her former actress girl's title
Hmm.
and said, I want to be me. I want to be a heel. I want to be an asshole, and I want to hang out with
She
Nagisa
wants to be a
Nozaki."
dark wolf.
Yeah, shouts out. So I think that's a cool ass pairing. I think that's a really dope pairing. It's a shame that they got put with the white girls, but you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Um, yeah, no, I really like that pairing a lot actually. I think they can complement each other's vibes very well. I imagine.
Sadly, not to stick on it too long, but I do wonder how they fill that kind of heel group. Um, Nobody else on the roster feels like a heel. So unless it's an outsider
They
or a
should
new
put
rookie,
Zeta in it.
she does actually fit, doesn't she? Yeah.
I think Zeta turning on Mila
But I don't know
and
when she
hanging out with
stays.
them
I
would
don't know
work
how
better.
she's. Jesus, I'm messing up. I don't know how long Zeta is staying. I don't know how long
Oh
anyone is
shit, yeah,
staying.
she was
But
supposed to be the shortest, I think.
really interesting. I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe I should check her Twitter. She probably has like her dates for other promotions announced. I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel
I
like
would wonder about
somebody
that.
found that out.
Unless they get a revolving door of heels from, the foreign tours, but I don't know. Um, yeah, that's I do like that. I was wondering when Chiaki would go kind of heelish because it's felt like the way since they started the promotion.
Or even if it's not heelish yet, it just to be more like independent and be a bit
Yeah,
more,
yeah. Just let her be herself because, as I said,
exactly.
she's really Kagetsu coded, and nobody will ever be Kagetsu. But Chiaki gives me that similar, like, cool, kind of above it all, kind of a dickhead, but
Effortless.
like a dickhead,
Yeah.
but in an interesting way. Like I really do feel like Chiaki could be something really special if they just hone it.
Yeah,
And
no,
putting
I
her
agree.
next to Nozaki is a really good way to hone it because she is also queen of I don't give a shit, which is great. Um, yeah, the second show was in Iwate, in the Miyako City Sea Arena. They did 676 fans here for the Mirai Homecoming show, which is really, really good. They did a lot of
And they
legwork
had
for promoting
they
here.
had Mirai and Yuzuki do like a judo class before the show as
Yeah.
well because they're both
You
judokas
know, again, not to stay
with
on it too
local
long,
kids.
but I remember towards the end of Rossi's time in Stardom, he got visibly upset at how they were promoting shows. You remember the tweets when they did the like 140 or something in Osaka, and
Yeah.
he was like, "This method of just announcing shows on Twitter and never promoting them has to stop." And I feel like so far with Marigold, he's put a lot of promotional legwork in to draw, and you kind of see here where that comes to bear fruit because you do a really really good number as a brand new company out in Miyako. You know,
Yeah, and to be fair, I think the other aspect of it is that Mirai is like immediately one of the best in the company and very
yeah.
clearly like, so she has so much to her now
Hmm.
that she didn't, quite frankly, in Stardom. So like if I was from the same town as Mirai and I saw her starting to get this run in Marigold, I'd be like, holy fuck, I need to see this. Like she's popping off. This is awesome. Um, but I think that's 100% the case. And Miyako's a bit further out. As a Sendai, they're both up north. Further up north, I guess, out east, whatever. There's further out, so it's like you have to be a bit more proactive with those sorts of spots, and they have been, and great number for them right here.
Hmm. Um, Anyway, getting into the results, we had Natsumi Suzuki beating Komomo Manami in 9 minutes. Another lengthy one for the rookie.
Hmm.
Miko Aono beat Victoria Yuzuki in 11 minutes to continue Yuzuki's losing streak, and Aono gets a big win. We then had a 15-minute draw with Chikagoto, Koki, and Nagisa Nozaki, which was where I kind of went, all right, this is a bit much. Because this is one that Nozaki should just win. I know you're high on Goto and Koki, but there has to still be levels to this,
So
and
yeah,
Nagisa is just on a
Nozaki
different level.
probably should. I mean, like either of them could have beat Chikagoto, quite
Yeah.
frankly.
I do to a
Um,
degree like how Rossi throws the veteran thing out the window, but this is a 2006 trained wrestler against two complete newcomers. In
But
any
I
other
do get
company,
I
Nozaki
do
just
get that.
wins.
It seems like Zeta was taken off very late because she was at the show. She was putting up the ring and shit.
Yeah,
And it just like was. It seemed very last minute that they were like, "Oh fuck, she can't go." Um, so I get him just being like, if we don't have a pin eater, nobody eats the pin." But I agree. I think they probably could have just like if it was a bit further out, he definitely should have just given Nozaki the win here,
yeah, for sure.
or at least Koki the win
Um,
if you want to keep her winning streak going.
yeah. In an interesting one, Nanai Takahashi and Nao Shikawa beat Bozilla and Myla Grace. Bozilla and Myla kind of had I guess, an eruption at 14 and a half minutes as well. This almost went to the time limit. But I thought it was interesting that Now gets a win now that she's paired up with Nanai. So it's kind
Mm.
of an instant turnaround for Now, and a fracture there for Bazilla and Myla. I don't know what they're going to do for the tag belts, but if they did a tournament, Bazilla and Myla crashing out because they can't get along is a pretty easy thing to do if you want to protect Bazilla. So, kind of putting that fracture in place early makes sense. Again, I'm only guessing. I really don't know what they are going to do with the tag belts or when they're going to do it. So I'm just projecting something that might not happen here.
I feel like Nanai and Now and the Royal Twin Towers are definitely the
And
front
also
runners.
Yuzu and Big Kiz.
I don't know.
Big
I mean,
Yuz and
Chiaki
Big
and
Kiz. What a
Nozaki.
Oh, Nozaki and Chiaki, yeah. They've got a solid tag division already. That's crazy. They
Yeah,
do a good job. Our main event then anyway was Mai Sakurai and Mirai beating Chiaki and Utami in 18 and a half minutes. Pretty standard hometown hero, hometown win.
yeah. Chiaki like was beating the fuck out of Mirai and then posed with her life
That
size
was great, yeah.
uh like stand up thing. Um, yeah, no, this sounds fun. I'm excited for the. I'm still excited for the Marigold shows, even if I think that like the vibe has, it's gone down a little bit. You're not as like, you know, obsessive excited about every single show. At least I'm not.
Yeah,
But like, I
is
still
it
look
like really
forward to all the shows.
mm,
For the most part.
is it controversial to say that I was expecting more of the Sumo Hall card too? It just feels very top heavy, whereas I was hoping for something like a freelancer or two to just spice
They're
up the undercard.
isolationists, Alex, at least for now.
I know, but I don't know. I was like expecting something. I know
I don't know.
LLPW is here, but I thought there'd be more to it.
We'll see. Like, I feel like by the end of the year they have to start incorporating some freelancers, um or maybe not freelancers but like start kind of being a bit more open to things
Mm,
because they do still have a very small roster, frankly, um and they will start running out of shit ultimately because they
yeah,
run often. uh it isn't like Marvelous where you run once a month, so we haven't seen you know Mio Momino and Takumi Iroha wrestle each other very like recently, but we've seen Utami and Mirai like every week,
yeah,
in some way against or with each other. I still like them as a pairing both against and with each other, but that's going to become a problem when you're running this many shows with such a small roster.
mm,
So I think they should probably start grabbing outside help and getting that, but I don't mind this Ryogoku show being more insular with some LPW help, um, because I think it does what it needs to do. I would have liked it if you threw in a Magenta in there.
hmm
You threw in a rookie team from some company. Uh, you know, I guess Sendai's kind of like tied in with Stardom right now, but like putting Eureka Oka on the card somewhere would be cool. Like stuff like that
yeah,
I would like, but I also get that like right now when Stardom is like being super proactive and getting their hands in every single pie in the Joshi world, uh Rossi probably is like, let's just take a minute. Um, I don't hate that, but I do get what you mean. That it's like you kind of expect one more hard hitting match on that card that we didn't really get. Um, but then again, you say top heavy, it's like it's a 9 match card, and 5 of the matches are the top.
yes. I don't know. I look at like the big three mainly as kind of the three. I think
See, but
Mariah Aono being the fourth one is a bit damages it a small bit. Um, So I am
I
looking
see,
at
but
Io,
Shozuki
Utami.
and Misa is a big match in
I
my
wouldn't
opinion.
consider that a top match. That's just two mid carders going for a belt. Like that's not a top star match, you know. It'll be a good, but it's not.
I think we view that differently. Like I'm looking at
Yeah.
like, oh well,
Um,
I'll enjoy most of this card,
well, the card is
and
good. Obviously, the
the
roster is
top
great.
matches are going to
Like
be very
that's
very good.
not in doubt. I just was expecting a little bit more for a sumo hall.
You
You know?
wanted Takumi Iroha.
Yes, but even or like Venny or somebody to something.
Yeah.
You know. So I don't know, but that's just me. But that's this show. I guess I think we're done. Um, we will be back next week to discuss the Stardom Corkins and whatever goes on in Marigold this weekend. They're out in Niigata and some other small town, so they won't likely do anything huge, but we'll talk about it. And then obviously we're going to
Niigata, please.
preview.
They're going to try their best.
That was horrendous.
I know.
But we are going to try our best
I
to.
made that joke like 2 years ago, and
You
I
did,
just thought
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
We'll preview obviously this Sumo Hall show in depth and discuss Io and Utami and stuff like that. So yeah, next week is the big week. It's gonna be really fun. So yeah, please come back.
Yeah, we're only a few weeks out from having to do a special for the 5 star.
Yeah, if they ever like give us the field, but it'll be all
I
right.
know I need to make a spreadsheet, man. Like
Yeah.
chop chop.
All right.
You're on the
Well,
clock.
it is time to close the show. So if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Oh, stay golden.
Ijo.
Isho. Even though you decide what you believe in is like a Marigold thing anyway.
It is,
Like
yes.
like they already took that.